Wow, there are so many games which I can choose from. I just wonder which one I should choose. Well, there's Crescendo, and there's Isle of Lost Skulls, and there's Crimson Cauldron, and there's Golden Trophy. I just wonder which one I'm gonna do first. Oh, I just don't know which one to pick. There's just so many. Help me! So this is you. Don't know what to pick. Don't have a clue on what they have in store for you. And also toxic little kid. Well, I have the perfect ranking of all of the Rec Room quests from the bottom, which I hate, and the top, which is the best. Disclaimer. If I say that your Rec Room original of your favorite choice is at the very bottom, then that's okay. I still think that all of them are brilliant. If you are experienced or even low level, these are the ones with the most rewarding items, the best story, plot, best theme, and also just convenience. And at number 5 is Crimson Cauldron. Now, it's not that I don't like this quest. I actually like it a lot. The bog monster, everyone loves the bog monster. But I have one problem which bugs me throughout the whole game. It's not different to Golden Trophy. Literally, the mobs are the same. There's some new mobs in there, but they are all exactly the same otherwise. The ones don't make a new weapon. I mean, they're just annoying. They're fun to use, though, I will give you that, and they're still really unique and very
Press
fun.
the start button on the scoreboard to play.
However, I do not like how this Rec Room original handles being a sequel to Golden Trophy. As much as I love the Goblin Work song, I just don't think it cuts towards the big, momentous occasion that was a sequel to the critically acclaimed Golden Trophy. One grudge that I have with all of the quests at the bottom of the list is the item shop. One grudge that I have among all of the quests is the item shop. I don't think that the earlier ones are as good as the later ones, where they use their own little currency so you can actually grind for like a better thing. I think it's just slightly boring, and also, I'm not a Rec Room Plus member.
Press the
I
start
know
button on the scoreboard to play.
it's tough to hear that, but I don't have enough tokens to buy all of this. Like, what are you expecting me to do? Save up? No. To be honest, everything here is rubbish except for the crowns. And not to mention, for the quest is so boring compared to Golden Trophy. I mean, it's harder, which, I mean, in some cases can be better, but I think that it has, just because it has the same enemies, it means that it has more enemies, and I think that more enemies doesn't cut it for a better, harder sequel.
Press the start button on the scoreboard to play.
I hate you, coach, so much. But it doesn't make a unique story. It just doesn't have an effect. That brings me to another problem I have with this quest. Absolute story. Where is it? Right, Golden Trophy. You have to fight the Goblin King as you stole Coach's Golden Trophy. Basic story, but I like it. Jumbotron. That's all I need to say. All of those skulls, pirate themed, trying to get treasure. That's really fun. Crescendo, trying to get Dracula. But the thing is, that really ticks my buttons, is that this has the exact same enemies, which don't correlate to the final boss. I feel like this is a massive missed opportunity, as the main villain is a witch. I have so many questions. First of all, how did the witch get control of all of these goblins? They all belong to the Goblin King, and there is nothing in the whole quest which explains why they have taken all of the goblins. Another problem I have is, why is it a witch? There's only one other mob, which is also a goblin, by the way, and that is the witch red goblins, which fire the exact same thing that the main boss does. It also defeats the point
Press the
of the
start
boss.
button on the scoreboard to play.
Coach, I swear to God. Don't get me started with the story. It actually Oh, what is the Crimson Cauldron meant to be? I don't know. Ask him. I think the best way to describe Crimson Cauldron is average. It is an average quest with average things. Nothing notable, nothing necessarily bad. It has some good things, but it doesn't really weigh out the bad things. And that's why I ranked it as low as I did, because it has nothing original. And if you're saying it's Golden Trophy that's the worst, I disagree. I feel like Golden Trophy is a really good Rec Room original where you can just go, hey guys, do you want to play Golden Trophy? And everyone is on board with it. If you go, hey, does everyone want to play Crimson Cauldron? Not as many people are inclined to do it. And that's why I ranked it as low as I did. I'm sorry, Crimson fans. I've disappointed you. Both I'm sorry. Please, give me forgiveness. And the next one on our list is the Rise of Jumbotron. Now, I imagine a few people are probably screaming at their screens right now. This has one major problem. I love the whole quest. The theme is brilliant. The story is brilliant. You don't really need a story for this one. It is just too good to be mastered. And for a quest after Golden Trophy, they have taken all of the notes that made Golden Trophy bad and just bumped it up a load. There is one thing, which is why it's as low as it is, and I think a lot of people are expecting this one, and I don't know about you, but I was as well. Friendly fire. It is the worst in this game. This game actually sucks with friendly fire. Because, I don't know if you know this, but all of the things are guns. It's not like Golden Trophy, where it's like, it's just the bow, or it's just this, or it's just that, or it's just the flintlock. It is every weapon in the game can kill you. And when Rec Room Timmies found out that this game had friendly fire in it, and there was an abundance of it, you know they're swarming this game. This is the only problem with this quest. Friendly fire. It is a brilliant theme. I love the theme. It's probably even better than laser tag, but every single time, that always annoys me. Another thing I find quite funny is the item shop. I don't know if you've noticed, but it's not there. I always find it quite weird in Jumbotron because there isn't a gift shop, which means that you kind of just have to be like, have to play through the game. And I think that's fine, but the main problem I have with it is it's just very, 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 very boring after you've completed the quest a million times and you have got all of the tokens. This quest got so many things right, it's almost uncountable. They got the weapons kind of right, although friendly fire is still in the mix. They've got the enemies perfect. Who needs goblins or anything else when you have robots? Literally everything that I can say about this quest is good. It's a positive. I think it's just a very good quest, solid quest, and perfect for a second one that they ever made. I don't know about you, but it's never been my favorite quest, purely because of these two reasons. The quest is absolutely amazing, like unrealistically amazing. God gave us something holy. But you need a lot of time in your hands to do this quest, and also the friendly fire kind of make it a downgrade. If someone was like, oh, do you want to play Jumbotron? I'll always be like, hey, let me tell you something. Have you ever heard of something called Golden Trophy? Which brings us on to our next point. I feel like everyone kind of knew that this was going to come low in the list, but I think that I had to give it an edge upon Jumbotron and Crimson, because it technically fixes what a lot of my critiques are with that. One thing that I think Golden Trophy does right is the prize board. Although this is tokens wise, I still think that actually it has loads, and I mean loads of good items. It has the nice tunic, it has the green armor set. It just has a lot of things which I'm actually interested in buying. Probably not with my hard-earned tokens yet, but in time, maybe. The reward items in this game are right, but I do think that they are an essential for Rec Room players. If you don't have at least one piece of the knight armor, who are you? Why are you here? Please tell me how you have played through the whole of Rec Room and not gotten a single piece of armor from this game. The positives I have with this game are pretty simple. I think that it's easy, I think it's fun, I think it's short, and although a lot of people might say, oh, well, that makes it bad, it doesn't, trust me. And I'll tell you why. It makes it easy to play. And I think that's what Golden Trophy was meant to be. An easy game with an easy story, which made it really fun to play. The goblins, although are a simple enemy, and although it has a simple story, and it has a simple boss, and it has a simple this, and a simple that, and a simple this, that, and the other, it makes it replayable beyond compare. Unlike the rest of the quests, I think that this is one of those ones which I'm much more inclined to play, because it's shorter, it's easier, and also, it's just having fun in Rec Room. Now, if you're a tryhard, this probably isn't your cup of tea. This wasn't really my cup of tea when I first joined, and I wanted to be like a sweat tryhard at quests. But now that I've kind of accepted who I am in Rec Room, just a Rec Room guy, now it feels like a brilliant experience just to play and relax. The only thing that I do have a slight complaint about, if I had to really nitpick, and this isn't even about the game at this point, is sometimes you get logged into players who are like way better than you, like leagues better than you, and I mean this literally, like league players, and it's like, yeah, I want to play the game, but I don't want to speedrun it in 2 seconds. That's a massive nitpick though, like that is insane, and also it has nothing to do with the actual quest itself. It just comes from the community, and from every game you can experience that. It just feels like Golden Trophy is the main one because it's the easiest and it's also the quickest. I would say the Golden Trophy is probably one of the best of the originals, and as you can probably tell, I've got rid of all of the originals now. We're moving on to the newer ones, which I believe are probably better. However, they haven't made one in 4 years. Actually, no, that's 6 years now. Holy cow, that's been a long time. I still think that this is a brilliant quest. It's an easy quest to play. It's a fun quest to play. And if someone told me if I wanted to play Golden Trophy or Crimson Cauldron, I'm probably going to play Golden Trophy. It's just better.
Press the start button on the scoreboard to play.
That was actually really in time. I completed that like just as soon as they did. By the way, you might have noticed by now that most of these are slightly shorter than Crimson Cauldrons. That's because I had so many complaints for Crimson Cauldron, and I don't have that many complaints for the rest. They're just pretty good, but I am nitpicking now, so nitpicks. Woo! Oh, and also, before we end, there is one massive missed opportunity that they did, and this carries on for literally all of the quests after it. So, in the original plans for this game, you would start on the stage. Now, I believe that this was quite an interesting idea, as you would then go into the door behind me and experience the level inside. I think that it is so much better to walk into this castle than just to be teleported over here. And I think that it was actually a really cool thing that they got rid of, and now I'm depressed and sad and lonely. And the next one we have is Crescendo of the Blood Moon. Now, I think a few people are probably hit off guard by this, especially if you've been watching my original series about Days Until Crescendo. People are going to be put off, so I'm going to state this now. It is really long. It is really difficult. And although it is a really fun quest, it doesn't have the one thing which I think it has, and I think it lacks massively from other games, and that is easiness. Rec Room is literally full of little Timmies, and this game is like the ultimate challenge, which I don't mind. It's not a bad quest, and adds some really good clothing items, but, and I say this with a massive but, it does have a few problems which I'd like to address. The first of which is probably the most common problem which I think everyone has with this game, and it is It's not on Quest 2. I know I'm now gonna go on about Quest 2 when I have a PC, but I'm gonna do it anyways because this is my YouTube channel. I can do what I like. Huh? Okay, that's really bad. My point is that Quest 2 players is probably their biggest platform, and I think that they have this massive problem with this game. And I don't think it's necessarily the Quest's fault. I think it's like the Quest 2's fault. No, I'm gonna get these so confused right now. Before I got my glorious PC, I couldn't play this quest, and it was painful to say the least. I only had a Quest 2, and not being able to play this and seeing other people walking around with Midnight Aristocrat was really, really annoying. And that is why I don't think it's as good as most people say it is, and I think that's a reason that we just can't overlook. Not being able to be put on Quest 2 is huge, and especially huge for VR players. And so I'm gonna have to rank it as low as I have, and I think this is the main problem with the quest. Now we're gonna go into some things that the actual quest has wrong with it, not the mechanics and all of that behind it. The first problem I have is how egregiously long this quest is. This quest is absolutely ridiculous. I don't think you can even play this like 4 times without spending 2 hours. This is so long. It has 13 acts. Golden Trophy has 9. That is ridiculously long for a quest, a game which is not meant to last more than 40 minutes. I think after you've played it about 4 or 5 times, the inverted ballroom becomes like a literal chore, and the graveyard is way too long for my fancy. It's so long, and not to mention all of the cut content from this game. This could have been a whole new game. This could have been Rec Room 2, guys. It was that large. The walls were gonna look so different, which also wouldn't have helped with the Quest 2's capabilities right now. I'm not gonna state this as a necessarily negative thing, as I think that actually this is a really, really cool feature, and this is actually what's really get going my channel, and that is the hard to get items in this quest. This quest has item pieces, which are about 1,200,000.
Press the start button on the scoreboard to play.
Silver. It also doesn't help that S Plus is ridiculously hard to get. I don't think this necessarily makes it a bad thing. I think that this just makes it a little bit problematic, especially towards newer players who aren't that experienced in the game. The positives I have with this game are endless. This is such a good quest, and if you can afford it, that's a key thing. If you can afford it, because you're gonna need a £1,200 PC for this to run. If you can afford it, it is so worth it. It is the best thing in the world. Even you might think that this is worth it. 100% worth it. 100% worth the money. And 1,000,000% good. Also, I don't know why they allow this. They literally have a thing called blood. And I don't know about you, but that saying blood and the maid's dress have blood on it. I'm surprised Rec Room hasn't got a T for teen yet. Or a Peggy 12, depending on where you come from. This brings us to the best quest in the whole of Rec Room. And in my opinion, it's Isle of Lost Skulls. Now, Harry Manlegs said it wasn't Isle of Lost Skulls and that Isle of Lost Skulls was the worst, but I disagree immensely. This is the best quest. No one will change my mind. It has the most weapons and the most unique weapons, as well as the most annoying. What I think makes this quest so good is its storytelling, and how you're looking for treasure and you go through all of the extra things. It just makes the quest feel more alive, and there's more to do, and there's way more things which just make it so much better story-wise. For example, the creatures in this game aren't all introduced at the same time like other quests. Instead, they're introduced at about Port Plunder. In fact, not even that, Gibbet Jungle. You then get introduced to the last of the mobs, which, when you think about it, Gibbet Jungle is actually near the end of the quest, which means that you get a lot, and I mean a lot, of monsters from the get-go, and then you slowly get more as you go through, which adds a layer of difficulty, because then you have to learn different strategies for each of them. Another thing that makes this quest so good is literally just the little tidbits that it adds in. It has some of the best, and I repeat, the best level design in the whole of Rec Room. For example, the kitchen, amazing, as usual. The bar fight, amazing, as usual. The ship battle, amazing, as usual. It's no surprise this is one of my favorite quests. It also gives this aroma of just pirate. I think that it really does well with its unique elements in it. And when I mean unique, I don't mean the guy who's next to me who's dead. I mean like unique elements. As in being able to phase through bars and being able to hit locks and then instantly be able to open them. Another thing that's perfect is the gift shop. In my opinion, this is by far the best gift shop in any game. It has enough grinding with enough reward. You can buy the lower levels as well as a few extra spoils and also buy the black scallywag set. This just makes the game so fun because if you are losing like every single game you play, you can still get some of the lower level items and you can still look very cool rocking pirate outfit. However, if you are grinding for that scallywag, at least there's something for you to grind for, and at least you don't have to save like 10,000 tokens to get it. There are so many things I could go over, but one thing I must say is by far one of the best is the S rank gear. It is by far some of the coolest gear in the game, and if you put this on, you can instantly get flexed. And also, not to mention this glorious being.
Ahoy! And welcome to the Isle of Lost Skulls! Keep ye cutlasses sharp, treat ye crewmates with honor, and enjoy ye time in Rec Room VR!
Thank you for watching this far. I actually thought that this would be a really overused video idea, but actually I haven't seen anything on YouTube about this. So I'm making it now. I call dibs, it's my thing, and if you try and copy me, you're gonna get copyright claimed. That is 100% true. I will completely demolish your channel.